I was elbow deep in the guts of a dead laptop when Ashley walked into my home office wearing that smile. You know the one, the smile that says she's about to drop something on you and expects you to react exactly how she's rehearsed in her head. "Babe, I have some news," she said, leaning against the doorframe like she was posing for a magazine shoot. Even at home, Ashley never stopped performing. I didn't look up from the motherboard. "Let me guess. Your boss finally realized you're the only one keeping that startup afloat and gave you a raise? Better." She paused for dramatic effect. "I'm going to be Tyler's +1 at his wedding this Saturday." My hands stopped moving. Tyler, her ex-boyfriend from college. The guy she'd dated for 3 years before we met. The one whose name still came up too often in conversations about the good old days. "His +1, I repeated, keeping my voice flat. "Yeah." His fiancée suggested it, actually. She thought it would be a mature, grown-up way to show there's no hard feelings, that we've all moved on. Ashley examined her nails. Fresh manicure, I noticed. When had she gotten that done? "I think it's really evolved of them, don't you?" I set down my screwdriver and finally looked at her. Ashley at 35 was still striking. Sharp cheekbones, perfectly highlighted blonde hair, the kind of polished appearance that came from hours of maintenance she never let me see. She was waiting for me to object, to show some flash of jealousy she could either soothe or weaponize, depending on her mood. "Have fun," I said. "Don't trip on the bouquet." Her smile flickered. "That's it? You're okay with this?" "Why wouldn't I be?" I turned back to the laptop. "You're going to a wedding, not running away to join the circus." She stood there for another moment, and I could feel her frustration radiating across the room. Finally, she huffed and walked away, her heels clicking sharply against the hardwood floor of our increasingly shabby house. My inheritance from my parents, a 3-bedroom colonial that had seen better decades. The truth was, I wasn't okay with it. But I'd learned over the past year that showing Ashley my real feelings was like handing her ammunition. Better to keep my cards close. "My name's Jack Morrison. I'm 38, a tech support manager for a mid-sized insurance company. And I used to be somebody. Not famous or anything, just somebody who mattered. I'd boxed amateur for years, made it to regional finals twice, had a tight circle of friends, and thought I'd married the woman of my dreams. Funny how things change. Our city, one of those mid-sized northeast places that had seen manufacturing glory days and was now trying to rebrand as a tech hub, reflected our relationship perfectly. Shiny new condos downtown, but drive 2 blocks in any direction and you'd find the decay. Shuttered factories, pawn shops, bars with names like the Rusty Anchor that had never been near water. I lived in the decay part. Ashley worked in the shiny part. That night, after she'd gone to bed early, another exhausting day at work, I did something I'd never done before. I checked her tablet. She'd left it on the kitchen counter, still unlocked. I told myself I was just being paranoid, that I'd glance at it and feel stupid and go to bed. But the moment I opened her messages, my world tilted sideways. The texts with Tyler went back months. Not just friendly catching-up texts, explicit texts, photos, videos, detailed descriptions of what they'd done in his penthouse apartment. Yes, penthouse, because of course Tyler had done well for himself. He was some kind of startup investor now, money pouring out of his ears. "Can't wait to feel you inside me again." One of Ashley's messages read, "Jack's working late tomorrow. Come over at 8. Tomorrow. That was tonight. 2 hours ago. I scrolled further back. The affair had started 4 months ago at some alumni networking event. Tyler had been so different, so confident, so successful. Not like me, the subtext screamed. Not like boring Jack with his inherited house and his middle management job and his stupid dead-end life. There were photos of them together. Ashley wearing lingerie I'd never seen. Tyler's smug face, his arm around my wife, both of them naked in what looked like a hotel room. I should have felt rage. Instead, I felt something colder, clarity. I took screenshots of everything, emailed them to myself, from an old account she didn't know about, then put the tablet back exactly where I'd found it. Then I went to my computer and started planning. The next evening, I told Ashley the first had to work late, a server emergency. She tried to hide her excitement but failed. The moment I pulled out of the driveway, I circled back and parked 3 houses down. Sure enough, 20 minutes later, a black Mercedes pulled up. Tyler stepped out, and even from a distance, I could see he'd aged well. Tall, fit, wearing clothes that probably cost more than my mortgage payment. He knocked on my door. Ashley answered in a dress that made my stomach turn. I didn't confront them, not yet. Instead, I drove to Big Mike's gym, the old boxing gym, where I'd trained for years, a concrete box that smelled like sweat and liniment. Mike was there, as always, working the heavy bag despite being 65 and having knees that sounded like gravel. "Jack Morrison," he grunted. "Thought you'd forgotten about us." "Never, coach." I started wrapping my hands. "I need a favor. Name it." "You still have that prank bag? The one from Polly's bachelor party?" Mike's weathered face split into a grin. "The sardine oil and feathers? Yeah, it's in the back. Why?" Let's just say I need to redecorate someone's car." Nod. Tyler's Mercedes was still parked outside my house at 11 p.m. I waited until midnight, then approached with Mike's gift bag. The sardine oil went first. I poured it through the slightly open sunroof, making sure it soaked into the leather seats. Then came the feathers, a full pillow's worth, dumped through the same opening. The smell would never come out. The feathers would be impossible to clean completely. And the best part? Completely legal. Gross, petty, and juvenile, but legal. I left a note under the windshield wiper. "Next time, park somewhere less obvious." Nod. The next morning, Ashley came downstairs laughing at her phone. "Oh my God, you won't believe this," she said, pouring coffee. "Some psycho vandalized Tyler's car last night. Sardine oil and feathers. Who does that?" I looked up from my toast. Someone with a sense of humor? It's not funny, Jack. His car is ruined. He's filing a police report. Must have been someone who really didn't like where he parked." I met her eyes, or who he was visiting. For just a second, I saw fear flicker across her face. Then she laughed it off. "You're so weird sometimes." I just smiled. Must have been someone with taste. The wedding was that Saturday. Ashley spent 3 hours getting ready, trying on 4 different dresses before settling on a navy blue number that hugged every curve. I watched from the bedroom doorway, my face carefully neutral. "You look great," I said, and meant it. She did look great. That was never the problem. "Thanks, babe." She kissed my cheek, leaving a lipstick mark I didn't bother wiping off until she'd left. I'll be back by 10. She wasn't back by 10. She wasn't back by midnight. She stumbled in at 2 a.m., smelling like champagne and cologne that wasn't mine. "Great wedding," she slurred, kicking off her heels. "You should have come." "Wasn't invited," I said from the couch, where I'd been sitting in the dark. She jumped. "Jesus, Jack, you scared me. Why are you sitting in the dark? Thinking. About what? About us. About where we're going. About whether we're going anywhere at all." Even drunk, Ashley's defense mechanisms kicked in. "Oh God, not this again. I'm too tired for one of your philosophical moods. I'm going to bed." She left me there in the dark, and I continued planning. Monday morning, I changed my social media status to single. I unfollowed all of Ashley's friends and coworkers. I posted a cryptic message. Sometimes the trash takes itself out. Sometimes you have to help it along. Within an hour, my phone started buzzing. Most of the messages were from people I barely knew, vultures circling for gossip. But one stood out. Rachel Winters. "Jack, we need to talk. Coffee?" Rachel had been Ashley's maid of honor at our wedding, her best friend through college. But over the years, they'd drifted apart. Or rather, Ashley had frozen her out for reasons she'd never fully explained. I'd always liked Rachel. She was real in a way Ashley's current friends weren't. We met at a coffee shop downtown, one of those places trying too hard to be Portland or Seattle, all exposed brick and reclaimed wood. Rachel looked good. She'd cut her dark hair short, and there was a confidence in her eyes I didn't remember from the wedding. She waited until we both had our drinks before speaking. "You deserve the truth about Ashley," she said. "I'm listening. She's been cheating on you, with Tyler, for months." Rachel's jaw tightened. "And everyone knows, her whole friend group. They think it's funny, Jack. They have a group chat where they make jokes about it." The coffee tasted like acid. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you were always decent to me, even after Ashley cut me out. And because—" she hesitated. "Because Ashley did the same thing to my brother, cheated on him, gaslit him, made him think he was crazy. I watched him fall apart. I won't watch it happen to someone else without at least trying to warn them." I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshots I'd taken. "Already knew, but thank you." Rachel's eyes widened as she scrolled. "Jesus, she's even worse than I thought. What are you going to do?" "I'm going to make sure everyone else knows too. starting with her work. Her company's having a cocktail party Thursday night. Big investor event. Tyler will be there. He's one of their backers. I smiled. Is it invitation only? Technically, but I can get you in. I do PR work for one of their partners. Then I'll see you Thursday. Dialis, Yuramno. Ashley's startup, one of those companies with a vague mission statement about disrupting synergy or some nonsense, had rented out a rooftop bar downtown for their investor mixer. I arrived in my best suit, the one I'd worn to my father's funeral, and Rachel met me at the elevator. You sure about this? She asked. Never been more sure of anything. The party was exactly what I'd expected. People in expensive clothes, drinking expensive alcohol, pretending their app or platform or whatever was going to change the world. Ashley stood near the bar, laughing at something Tyler said. He had his hand on the small of her back. I waited. Patience had never been my strong suit, but rage had taught me discipline. Tyler eventually took the microphone to make a toast. He talked about innovation, about taking risks, about forbidden opportunities that lead to the greatest rewards. He looked right at Ashley when he said it, and she blushed. That's when I made my move. I walked up to the microphone as Tyler was handing it back to the host. Mind if I say a few words? Tyler's face went pale. Ashley's went red. Who are you? The host asked. Jack Morrison. I'm Ashley's husband. You know, Ashley from sales? I gestured toward her. I just wanted to thank Tyler here for his inspiring words about forbidden opportunities. Really resonates with me, since he's been taking forbidden opportunities with my wife for the past 4 months. The room went silent. I mean, talk about disruption, right? Tyler's really disrupting my marriage, disrupting it right into the ground. I pulled out my phone. I've got the texts, the photos, the hotel receipts. Anyone want to see what real innovation looks like? Security started moving toward me, but I kept talking, faster now. Ashley, sweetheart, I especially loved the message where you said Tyler was so much more of a man than me. Really thoughtful. And Tyler, buddy, that video you sent her from your penthouse? The one where you're talking about how basic her husband is? Classic stuff. You should do stand-up. 2 security guards grabbed my arms. I didn't resist. Anyway, just wanted to toast to forbidden love. May it always be worth destroying your reputation over. I raised my empty hand in a mock salute. Cheers! They escorted me out to applause. Actual applause from some of the younger employees who'd probably suffered under Ashley's management style. As the elevator doors closed, I saw Ashley's face. Pure horror. Rachel was waiting in the lobby, grinning. That was incredible. That was just the opening act. Mel, I'd already sent the full dossier. Screenshots, photos, a detailed timeline to a local gossip columnist who ran a blog about the city's tech elite. She'd been looking for dirt on Tyler for months. He'd apparently burned several people in bad business deals. The story went live at midnight. Local investors' affair with married employee raises ethics questions. Whoa. By morning, it had been picked up by 3 other sites. By noon, it was trending locally on social media. I'd already moved my important stuff out of the house. Clothes, documents, my grandfather's watch. I'd opened a new bank account and transferred half our savings. I'd consulted with a divorce lawyer who'd assured me that in our state, infidelity mattered. When Ashley came home that evening, I was gone. The house was half empty. On the kitchen table, I'd left a note. While you were celebrating the past, I built the future. Don't look for me. My lawyer will be in touch. I'd rented a studio apartment above the Rusty Anchor, the divey bar near the river. It was small and smelled like beer, but it was mine. Rachel helped me move the last boxes in. You really did it, she said. You actually left. Should have done it months ago. My phone started buzzing. Ashley, calling. I declined. She called again. Declined. Then came the texts. Jack, where are you? This is insane. We need to talk. You can't just leave. This is your house. I made a mistake. Can we please just talk? I blocked her number. Then I posted on social media a photo Rachel had taken of me at the gym, back in fighting shape, with the caption, New chapter, new me, no dead weight. Within an hour, the comments flooded in. Friends I hadn't heard from in months, people from the gym, even a few of Ashley's coworkers offering support. The group chat screenshots started appearing too. Someone had leaked them, Ashley and her friends mocking me, calling me boring Jack and the anchor. Every humiliating message, now public. Rachel commented, about time, proud of you. I replied. Just getting started. Tyler's business partner called an emergency meeting. The affair scandal was affecting their fundraising. Investors didn't like drama, and several had pulled out of a major deal. Tyler was asked to step back from public-facing activities. Ashley's boss, a woman named Jennifer who'd always seemed reasonable, called her in for a meeting. The company was getting heat for employing someone involved in such a public mess. Ashley was suspended for 2 weeks, pending review of whether her relationship with an investor represented a conflict of interest. I know all this because Rachel still had friends at the company. The gossip flowed freely, but I wasn't satisfied. Not even close. I spent my evenings at Big Mike's gym, working the bags until my knuckles bled through the wraps. Mike watched me with concern. "You're going to hurt yourself," he said one night. "Already hurt, coach. Now I'm just getting even. Revenge is poison, kid. It'll eat you up. Then I'll die happy." He sighed. "What else you planning?" I told him. All of it. Mike whistled low. "That's cold, Jack. Real cold. They earned it." Rachel and I had been spending more time together. Purely platonic. Just two people who'd been burned by the same woman. But one night, over beers at the Rusty Anchor, something shifted. "Can I ask you something?" Rachel said, picking at the label on her bottle. "Shoot. Why did you stay with her so long? You must have known she was like this." I thought about it. Love makes you stupid. Or maybe I was stupid and love was just the excuse. "You're not stupid, Jack. You're actually pretty smart. Smart enough to get out. Smart enough to burn it all down on my way out, you mean?" She smiled. That too. Our knees touched under the table. Neither of us moved away. "I should tell you something," Rachel said. "Ashley cut me out because I called her out. About 2 years ago, I saw her flirting with some guy at a bar. Really flirting, not just friendly. I told her she was playing with fire, that she was going to hurt you. She said I was jealous, that I'd always been jealous of her, and that if I couldn't be happy for her success, we couldn't be friends." "Success at what? Cheating?" "Success at having it all," she said. "The career, the house, the husband, and the freedom to do whatever she wanted on the side." I felt that cold clarity again. She really thinks she's entitled to everything. She always has, even in college. The world according to Ashley. She deserves the best, and everyone else exists to give it to her. Then it's time she learned different. Rachel leaned closer. "What's the next move?" "I'm going to take away the thing she values most. Tyler, her reputation." I'd done some digging. Real detective work. The kind that would have made Philip Marlowe proud. Tyler wasn't just having an affair with Ashley. He was also sleeping with Clara, Ashley's current best friend. Clara was a piece of work herself. 37, divorced twice, worked in marketing, and had the kind of fake sweet personality that made my teeth hurt. She'd always been cold to me, barely civil at parties and family gatherings. I'd never understood why until I did more digging. 5 years ago, I'd been on the board of a local charity that helped at-risk youth. Clara had worked there as a fundraising coordinator. I'd discovered she was skimming donations, not much, just a few hundred here and there, but theft was theft. I'd reported it. She'd been fired and blacklisted from nonprofit work in the city. She'd blamed me for ruining her life, and she'd been waiting for payback. The affair between Ashley and Tyler? Clara had orchestrated the whole thing. She'd pushed them together at that alumni event, encouraged the relationship, fed Ashley's worst impulses. She wanted to destroy my marriage, humiliate me, make me suffer. Well, congratulations, Clara. Mission accomplished. Now it was my turn. Non everyone die. I created a fake social media account and sent Tyler a message, pretending to be a young woman interested in investing. We arranged to meet at a coffee shop. I didn't show, but Rachel did, with a camera. Tyler met with Clara instead. They kissed, they held hands, they talked about keeping things quiet until the Ashley situation blows over. Rachel got it all on video. I also discovered that Clara had been feeding gossip to that blogger, painting me as the villain, claiming I was controlling, that Ashley had been afraid of me, that the affair was her escape from an abusive marriage. None of it was true, but truth didn't matter in the court of public opinion. So I gave the blogger something better, the truth about Clara, her embezzlement history, her manipulation of Ashley and Tyler, her vendetta against me, and the video of her with Tyler. The news story went live on a Friday. The Real Puppet Master. How one woman orchestrated a revenge plot that destroyed multiple lives. It was beautiful, detailed, devastating. Clara's employer, a mid-sized marketing firm, fired her by Monday. Tyler's business partner confronted him about the second affair. And Ashley, reading the story, finally understood she'd been played. She called me from a number I didn't recognize. I answered. Jack, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Clara was. Save it, Ashley. You made your choices. Clara just made them easier. Please, can we just talk? Face to face? No. I love you. I made a mistake, but I love you. You love yourself. You always have. I was just convenient. That's not fair. Fair? I laughed. You want to talk about fair? You screwed another man in our bed, Ashley. In the bed my parents gave us as a wedding present. You humiliated me to your friends. You made me the punchline of your little group chat jokes. And now you want to talk about fair? Silence on the other end. Here's what's going to happen, I continued. You're going to sign the divorce papers my lawyer sends. You're going to take your half of the house sale and disappear from my life. And if you ever contact me again, I'll release the rest of the evidence I have. The stuff I didn't give to the blogger. The really dirty stuff. You're bluffing. Try me. I hung up. Rachel was sitting on my couch, watching me with an expression I couldn't quite read. Feel better? She asked. Getting there. But I wasn't done. Not even close. The city was having its annual Riverside Festival that weekend. Food trucks, live music, beer gardens, the works. It was the social event of the season, and everyone would be there, including Tyler, Ashley, and Clara. I'd heard through the grapevine that they were all planning to attend, probably to show they weren't ashamed, that they could hold their heads high despite the scandal. I was going to make sure they couldn't. The Riverside Festival was packed. Thousands of people crowded the park, drinking overpriced beer and eating gourmet food truck tacos. A local band played on the main stage, something upbeat and forgettable. I'd recruited help for this one. Big Mike and 3 of his gym regulars, guys who looked intimidating but were gentle as kittens. Rachel was there too, along with Mrs. Carter, my nosy neighbor who'd become an unlikely ally after I'd helped her grandson with a computer problem. We had a plan. Tyler arrived first, wearing designer sunglasses and a polo shirt that probably cost $200. He headed straight for the VIP beer garden, because of course there was a VIP section. I intercepted him at the entrance. Jack! His face went pale. Listen, man, I don't want any trouble. No trouble, Tyler. Just wanted to talk. There's nothing to talk about. Sure there is. Like how you've been sleeping with 2 women who hate each other. Or how your business is tanking because investors don't trust you anymore. Or how that Mercedes you loved so much still smells like sardines. His jaw clenched. That was you? Guilty. I smiled. But here's the thing, Tyler. I'm not mad anymore. I'm grateful. You did me a favor. You showed me who Ashley really is. So thanks for that. Then why are you here? Because I want everyone else to know who you really are. Before he could respond, the band finished their song. The lead singer announced, We've got a special guest who wants to say a few words. Jack Morrison, come on up. Tyler's eyes went wide. What did you do? You'll see. I walked to the stage, Mike and his guys forming a casual barrier between Tyler and any escape route. Rachel handed me a microphone. The crowd quieted down, curious. Hi, everyone. Thanks for letting me interrupt your day. I promise this'll be quick and entertaining. I scanned the crowd until I found Ashley and Clara, standing together near the back, both looking horrified. I want to tell you a story about betrayal, manipulation, and what happens when you underestimate the quiet guy. Someone in the crowd whooped. Others laughed nervously. 6 months ago, I thought I had a pretty good life. Great wife, decent job, nice house. Then I found out my wife was sleeping with her ex-boyfriend. Not just sleeping with him, falling in love with him, planning a future with him. All while living in my house, spending my money, and mocking me to her friends. The crowd was silent now, hanging on every word. The ex-boyfriend, Tyler Grant, take a bow, Tyler, is a startup investor, rich guy, penthouse apartment, fancy car, the kind of guy who thinks money makes him better than everyone else. I pointed at Tyler, who was trying to push through Mike's wall of muscle. He's also the kind of guy who sleeps with multiple women at once and lies to all of them. Ashley started pushing through the crowd toward me. Clara had disappeared. And then there's Clara Martinez, the puppet master. She's the one who set this whole thing up, who manipulated my wife into the affair because she blamed me for getting her fired from a charity 5 years ago, for embezzlement, which she actually did, by the way. I have the records. Mrs. Carter, bless her, started a slow clap. Others joined in. So here's what I learned. Some people think they're entitled to whatever they want. They think consequences are for other people. They think the quiet guy will just take it, keep his head down, and let them walk all over him. Ashley reached the stage. Jack, stop this. You're embarrassing yourself. I'm embarrassing myself. I laughed. Ashley, honey, I'm not the one who got caught cheating. I'm not the one who got suspended from work. I'm not the one whose entire social circle now knows exactly what kind of person I am. You bastard. Probably. But at least I'm an honest bastard. Tyler finally broke through Mike's barrier and charged the stage. Big mistake. I'd been training for weeks, getting back into fighting shape. When Tyler swung at me, I saw it coming from a mile away. I ducked, swept his legs with a move I'd practiced 1,000 times in the ring, and watched him fall face first into the birthday cake someone had left on the stage for later. The crowd erupted in cheers and laughter. Security started moving in, but I held up my hands. I'm done. Just wanted to make sure everyone knew the truth. Ashley was crying now, mascara running down her face. Clara had vanished entirely. Tyler was pulling himself up, covered in chocolate frosting, his expensive clothes ruined. Rachel appeared at my side, taking my hand. Time to go, she whispered. We walked off the stage together, Mike and his guys forming a protective circle around us. The crowd parted, and several people patted my back or offered words of support. Behind us, I could hear Ashley screaming at Tyler, blaming him for everything. I could hear the whispers and laughter of hundreds of people who just watched the city's biggest scandal unfold in real time. I felt lighter than I had in years. The fallout was immediate and total. Tyler's business partner dissolved their partnership. The remaining investors pulled out completely. Within a week, Tyler's company was bankrupt. He had to sell his penthouse to cover debts. Clara couldn't find work anywhere in the city. The embezzlement story had spread, and no one would hire her. Last I heard, she'd moved to another state. Ashley lost her job. The company decided the scandal was too much, and they mutually agreed to part ways. She had to move out of our house, which I was selling, and into a studio apartment even smaller than mine. Her friends, the ones who'd mocked me in that group chat, abandoned her. Turns out loyalty wasn't their strong suit. And the divorce was finalized 3 months later. I got my half of the house sale, my freedom, and my self-respect back. Nimmer and Rachel and I started dating officially. It felt right, easy in a way things with Ashley never had been. She understood what I'd been through because she'd seen Ashley's true nature years ago. We were having dinner at a nice restaurant downtown, celebrating the finalized divorce, when Ashley appeared at our table. She looked terrible. Thinner, older, worn down by months of social exile and unemployment. Jack, please, I just need 5 minutes. No. I didn't even look up from my menu. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was stupid and selfish, and I threw away the best thing in my life. Can't we just, Ashley? Rachel's voice was ice. He said no. Leave. This is between me and my husband. Ex-husband, I corrected. And no, it's not. There's nothing between us anymore. Nothing at all. I love you. You love the idea of not being alone. You love having someone to fall back on. But you never loved me. Not really. That's not true. I finally looked at her. Yes, it is. And you know what? I'm okay with that now. I wasted 7 years on you, but I'm not wasting another second. Go away, Ashley. Move on. Find someone else to manipulate. Just leave me alone. Security approached. The restaurant manager had noticed the commotion. Ashley left before they could escort her out, and I watched her go without a shred of regret. Rachel squeezed my hand. You okay? Better than okay, I smiled. I'm free. 6 months later, I got a promotion at work. Turns out that standing up for yourself impresses people. My boss, who'd heard about the whole mess, told me he respected how I'd handled it. I moved into a better apartment with Rachel. We adopted a dog, a rescue mutt named Tyson. Life was good. Big Mike threw a party at the gym to celebrate my comeback. Not to boxing, but to being myself. All my real friends were there. The people who'd stuck by me through the mess. You did good, kid, Mike said, handing me a beer. You could have let it destroy you. Instead, you destroyed it. Wasn't easy. Nothing worth doing ever is. I looked around the gym, at the people who'd supported me, at Rachel laughing with Mrs. Carter, at the life I'd rebuilt from the ashes of my marriage. You were wrong about one thing, coach, I said. What's that? Revenge isn't poison. Not if you do it right. Not if you make sure everyone knows the truth and faces real consequences. That's not revenge, that's justice. Mike considered this. Maybe. Or maybe you just got lucky that justice and revenge looked the same this time. I'll take it either way. Never saw Ashley again. I heard she eventually moved to another city, started over somewhere no one knew her story. Tyler did the same. Clara disappeared completely. I didn't care. They were chapters in a book I'd closed and shelved. Rachel and I got engaged on the anniversary of the day we'd met for coffee, when she'd first told me the truth about Ashley. We got married in a small ceremony at the gym, Mike officiating, surrounded by people who actually mattered. No drama, no betrayal, no games. Just two people who'd been burned by the same fire and found each other in the ashes. On our wedding night, Rachel asked me if I ever regretted how I'd handled things with Ashley. Not for a second, I said. They thought I'd beg for mercy. They thought I'd just take it and move on quietly. They thought wrong. What would you have done differently? I thought about it. Nothing. Every single thing I did was necessary. They earned every bit of it. No regrets. Only one. I pulled her close. I regret not seeing through Ashley sooner, but then again, if I had, I might not have ended up here with you. So maybe even that worked out. She kissed me. Definitely worked out. Later, lying in bed, I thought about that night when I'd first discovered the texts, how my world had tilted sideways, how I'd felt that cold clarity wash over me. I'd been tested, betrayed, humiliated, pushed to my limit, and I'd pushed back harder. Some people might say I went too far, that revenge is never the answer, but those people have never been betrayed by someone they loved, mocked by people they trusted, gaslit into thinking they were the problem. I did what I had to do. I made sure the truth came out. I made sure there were consequences. I made sure that for once, the quiet guy didn't just take it, and I'd do it all again in a heartbeat. Because sometimes the worm turns, and when it does, it's got teeth.